Welcome.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're hearing us clear. Just to start, if someone is not using the microphone, just put it in mute for the echo. So I think everybody's there. We should start. Yeah. First of all, we would like to welcome you, Engineer Malwaki Azuzwa, President of the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Association. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I hope that you and your beloved ones are in a good health during this exceptional and difficult pandemic of COVID-19. On behalf of the Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to express our gladness to organize a B2B event by online platform, and we hope this event will contribute in boosting our economic ties and open new horizons in the relationship of our two friendly countries. We are totally aware of promising potential of Ethiopia with its strategic location, plentiful natural resources, especially in agriculture, as well as its skilled manpower. The relationship between our two countries goes back a long way, and it has grown over the years since the establishment of the diplomatic relationship in 1967. Thanks to the joint effort from the Kuwaiti and Ethiopian leadership, the bilateral relations have always been developing in a smooth manner, especially in recent years. According to the official trade statistics between Kuwait and Ethiopia, the most items imported from Ethiopia are agricultural products, such as high quality coffee, different sesame seeds, and live animals and meat products. In this context, we urge to extract more efforts to rise the volume of our exchange trade, as we hope this meeting will yield tangible and applicable results to bring solid benefits to both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the slowdown that the global economy is witnessing due to the pandemic and its recessions, our two countries should optimize their own potential to ensure healthy developments of our prospective economy and continue to build solid bridges and ensure serving our long-term bilateral cooperation. With the aim to deepen our investment cooperation, we are looking forward to listen to the presentation from the Ethiopian Investment Committee and the Ethiopian Agriculture Transformation Agency in order to understand the Ethiopian investment environment and agro-industrial trading opportunities. Hence, evidence facts prove that there is a clear interest from the part of the Kuwaiti investors and traders to comprehend the available investment opportunities in Ethiopia and build strategic partnership. In conclusion to my speech, I would like to assure to you and our keenness to develop innovative ways to cooperation in order to strengthen the relationship to the level that meets our mutual aspirations. I appreciate your attention and thank you for the good listening. Thank you. And I think now is the speech to Engineer Malwaki Azuzwa, President of the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much, Excellencies. Your Excellency, the head of delegation from Emir Sheikh Nawfal's government, the state of Kuwait. Excellencies, the business community from the Kuwait, and Excellencies from the Ethiopian business community, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Really, on behalf of the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and sectoral associations and myself, I would like to welcome you all. Really, it is my great pleasure to be part of this remarkable webinar event that provides a platform to businesses to have the access in exchanging information about trade and investment opportunities of Ethiopia and Kuwait. Ethiopia and Kuwait's formal diplomatic relation had been begun since 1967, though the two countries opened their respective embassies in 1997. Therefore, the people of the two countries have long-standing historical and cultural ties that served as a springboard for their relations to improve at various times. The economic relations between both countries have also been gaining momentum as the private sector of Kuwait is encouraging its peoples to invest in Ethiopia. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, despite their immense opportunities, the trade and investment ties between Ethiopia and Kuwait have been minimal, which require the concern of both sides. In our globalized world economy, the need to work jointly is not an option, rather essential and obligatory. Therefore, this forum has multifaceted advantages in strengthening the trade relation existed between the two sides and creating new business opportunities. Ethiopia has a lot to offer to prospective Kuwait investors who are interested to invest in. Let me mention some of the huge and ample opportunities exists in Ethiopia. Ethiopia provides one of the largest and most diverse agricultural investment opportunities on the continent. Among the country's agricultural products, oilseeds, cereals, fruits and vegetables, flour, coffee, sugarcane, cotton, tea and spices, and others are the major agricultural products earning foreign currency. Ethiopia's resources, such as very vast arable land, favorable climate, diverse agroecological zones, makes it possible grow almost everything in the country. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia has 74.3 million hectares of arable land and over 3 million hectares of land that has been made available for investment. The country has also prioritized sectors such as agriculture, textile and apparel, leather and leather products, pharmaceuticals, agro-processing, power, mining, and tourism for investment, as identified by the government. Among these prioritized sectors, agriculture is one of the largest and most diverse investment opportunities that the country offers. Coffee is a major agricultural export product cultivated in Ethiopia. Ethiopian coffee is known all over the world for its excellent quality and flavor. It has a special aroma and flavor, a uniqueness that makes it preferable for blending with coffee from other countries. Sesame seed is one of the oilseed crops grown in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is known to be the center and diversity for cultivated sesame. The country produces a variety of different sesame seeds which are highly valued on the international market. The horticulture sector in Ethiopia has shown quite an exponential growth in the last 10 years. Currently, there are more than 125 investments in Ethiopia in the export of flour, fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Farm ownership is made up of local investors, direct foreign investors, and joint venture partnership. Also, Ethiopia has a long tradition of producing fruits like banana, pineapple, mango for home consumption and neighboring countries export. It is only recently that the investment has been made in large-scale production and the production of less traditional fruits, including strawberries, table grapes, and passion fruits. Fruits production and exports is seen as an area that has enormous potential for development. Favorable climate, availability of land, and the incentive packages provided by the government have all contributed to the phenomenal and successful growth of the floriculture sector. Ethiopia is the second largest flower producer and exporter next to Kenya. The country is noted for high quality flowers. In addition to the rose farms, some farms are engaged in the production of cuttings and some farms produce other flowers varieties and a range of different types of flowers. Ethiopia's climate is also very well and suitable for the production of herbs, and many investors are keen to exploit the potential. Leather and leather products sector is one of the leading manufacturing sector in Ethiopia. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in agro-processing sector, investment opportunities include processing of meat and meat products, fish and fish products, fruits and vegetables, manufacturing of edible oil, processing of milk and manufacturing of dairy products, baby food, animal feed, macaroni and pasta, alcohol and soft drinks, etc. Ethiopia's plentiful agricultural resources, including cattle, forests, cropland, suitable climate condition, and labor force are critical inputs for agro-processing industries. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, textile and garment industry in Ethiopia are given prominent position in boosting export and creating job opportunities. The recent surge in Ethiopia's textile and apparel production and export to the global markets shows that the country had the potential to become one of the leading textile and apparel hubs of Africa, with the bold vision of transforming the country into compelling new apparel sourcing hub for brand retailers and their suppliers. Also, the pharmaceutical sector in Ethiopia is heavily import dependent, hosting few domestic producers, supplying less than 10% to a $500 million market, producing limited therapeutic drugs, medical supplies, instruments, and medical apparatus, and veterinary medicines. Preferential market access for domestic pharmaceutical manufacturers is augmented by bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, including COMESA, IGAD, CFTA, and others, in which harmonization of regulatory and procurement streamlined for export. The recently launched African Continent Free Trade Agreement is also opening enormous market opportunities with a population of 1.2 billion for products manufactured in Ethiopia. In addition, Ethiopia enjoys various bilateral and multilateral preferential market accesses, including AGOA and EBA, everything but arms. The trade relationship between the two countries is really insignificant. The average annual trade turnover between the two countries within the last 10 years standard around USD 3 million only. This, of course, shows that the trade relation between the two countries is very minimal, though a great deal could come about from both sides. The balance of trade is in favor of Kuwait and is broadening over time. Beyond this fact, Even the trade is highly dominated by very few products. From the Ethiopian side, only 3 agricultural products, namely sesame seeds, live animals, and meat, accounts for about 80% of the total export, while more than 95% of Ethiopia's import from Kuwait is just petroleum oil and its allied products. We should change this trend in the near future. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Ethiopia has launched the electronic single window to enhance efficiency in the trade logistics landscape of the country by speeding the customs process for importers and exporters. This system helps facilitate trade in terms of in times of crisis like COVID-19, which is affecting the whole world. The new online platform automates trade producers and replaces the need for physical, manual, and duplicate processes. It also plays a key role in enhancing transparency for trade, which is important for easing the movement of critical supplies during this pandemic. Thus, there is a continuous improvement of investment climate in Ethiopia, including infrastructure, logistics, and the overall cost of doing business in the country so as to attract foreign investors. Government reforms, government reforms and incentives are unlocking investment and business opportunities. More efficient bureaucratic processes related to registration, logistics, and taxation are increasing the inflow of foreign direct investment. Improving Ethiopia's investment climate is also a key part of Ethiopia's new initiative. The initiative addresses the prioritized policy, regulatory, and administrative reforms that lower unjustified costs, increased investment, business formation, and greater productivity. Improving the investment climate is central to doing business initiatives. So many new laws and procedural and administrative reforms were enacted over the past few months with the aim to reduce the time, cost, and procedural hurdles businesses face in their life cycle, from startup to operation and exit. Really allow me to say about the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Sectoral Association that I represent. Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Sectoral Association is an umbrella of private sector organizations in Ethiopia representing more than 500,000 businesses in the country, which has been working in partnership with various local and international organizations and the Chamber of Commerce of other countries with the view to promote trade, investment, and economic cooperation by organizing business forums and business-to-business meetings in prioritized areas of investment in Ethiopia. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief that this webinar forum is helpful to exchange important businesses information and start new business cooperation for our common benefit and interest. If we do jointly and strongly, we can realize our common interest and benefit. Therefore, I would like to conclude my remarks by calling upon the respected Kuwait companies to further promote their trade and investment ties and establish new partnership with their Ethiopian counterparts for their common advantage. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your speech, Mr. Milwaukee. I would like actually to give the microphone to Ms. Martha Asafa, Business Ashate, Embassy of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the State of Kuwait.
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. Am I audible? Okay. Good morning to everyone. Your Excellency, Mr. Fahad Al-Jawan, Second Vice Chairman of Kuwait's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Excellency, Engineer Malaku Uzazo, President of the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Sectoral Association. representatives of Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry, representatives of Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation and Ethiopian Investment Commission, all Kuwait and Ethiopian-based investors, company representatives, and business people here present. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ethiopian Embassy in Kuwait, I would also like to welcome you to this virtual business forum on agriculture and agro-processing industries organized by the Ethiopian Embassy in Kuwait in collaboration with the esteemed Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry. My name is Marta Asafa. I am in charge of trade and investment sector in the embassy. As stated by your excellencies, this forum is organized to portray the various investment and trading opportunities in the agricultural sector that Ethiopia could offer to the Kuwait companies and industries. So to give the attendees a brief outline of the program today, first off, a representative from Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency, Mr. Henok Mesfin, will conduct his presentation on various agricultural and agro-processing opportunities in Ethiopia. Up next, a representative from Ethiopian Investment Commission, Mr. Tariku Getachew, will present on the investment opportunities on the agricultural sector. The presentations will be 15 minutes each, then we will proceed to the Q&A session. I would like to add here that companies from both sides, if they would like to say a couple of words, they would be able to do so during the Q&A session. Participants will be expected to raise, of course, their virtual hand to voice their question, which then will be gathered and forwarded to the respective institutions. I would also like to add participants are encouraged to leave the name of their company, their contact address on the chat box, if possible, down below for further communication. And now I will give the floor to Mr. Henok Mesfin, a representative from Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Good morning, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests. My name is Henok Mesfin. I am Director for Private Sector in Agriculture team in the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency. As explained by Marta, I will give you a brief introduction about the Ethiopian agricultural agro-processing sector. May I share my presentation, or I think it is not possible. So, as you all know, Ethiopia is an agrarian country. Agriculture contributes a lot for the country, but there is a vast untapped resource in agriculture sector. The government knows this one and wants to change the economy using agriculture as a vehicle. Agriculture needs to increase industry, and in the past couple of years, this economical transformation was noticed, and the industry sector is increasing. But still, agriculture plays a significant role in the Ethiopia's economy, contributing around 33% of the GDP and creating employment about 66% for the citizen, and also contributing on export earning around 76%. And reached around 32 billion USD value, and it was increasing year by year, on average 9% in the past 5 years. So Ethiopia has 101 million hectare land, of which 74 million is cultivable land, but we are utilizing only 60 million land, and which is very low. But there is a potential of utilizing the vast available land. And also Ethiopia has 123 billion meter cubic surface water with major lakes and rivers flowing over the year. And also there is around 23 million cubic meter water, underground water, which allows irrigation investment. There is a potential of 7 million hectare land of irrigation potential, but we are only utilizing 1.2 million hectare land. So this vast potential can be utilized by investors. Ethiopia has a diverse agroecology and biodiversity both for crop and livestock. And Also, we have an abundant human resource. Out of the 100+ million population, 28 million, hello? Around 28 million of the population are aged 15 to 29 years old. So there is abundant resource of human labor. Also, we have every year more than 300,000 university graduates and 367,000 TVET graduates are joining the labor market. And we have a very large base of expertise and professionals in agriculture sector. The agriculture sector has an excess of 33 billion USD value of domestic market, and then also 313 billion dollar of market in sub-Saharan African countries. And as explained by General Malaku, we have a preferential market access to China, Europe, and the USA. And also we are very near to the Middle East market where we can exploit. And also the agriculture sector being given, a very high attention within the current government. It has been a center of, the development area in the homegrown economy reform and 10-year perspective plan. There is a support for the research, extension, and marketing system in the agriculture sector. Generally speaking, there is a very vast opportunity in the agricultural investment, ranging from crop production, horticulture and floriculture production. As explained by Mr. Malaku, we are the second largest exporter of flowers next to Kenya. There is also very vast opportunity in seed production, mechanics service, and other services to the agriculture sector. Also, there is a dairy, poultry, and livestock production possibilities, which I'll go in detail later. So, when you consider the agriculture sector, you have to think also the food and beverage processing industry, where the sector is not grown as expected. It contributes only 2% of the GDP, but it was growing with a 60% increase from 2013. The food and beverage sector contributes around 30% of from the industry sector. In recent years, the growth was noticed through investment in the beverage sector, but the food sector is not developed yet. While the food demand is increasing year by year, which opening for huge import to food items, and Ethiopia imports close to $500 million food and beverage every year. So with a vast opportunity, agricultural opportunity and available resources, agriculture could be processed as a food and beverage and supplied to the local market, and also supplied to the neighboring and Middle East market. Considering this opportunity and untapped resource, the government has strategized to build 17 integrated agro-industry parks, making investors to come in and invest. But already the 4 integrated agro-industry park has been operationalized. From this, 3 is already being started, accepting investors. For example, in Irgalam, in Sidama region, one avocado processor has engaged in producing avocado oil and exporting to the European market. This company is linked with more than 55,000 smallholder farmers in the area, supplying avocado to the factory. In Bulbula Industrial Agro-Industry Park, there is also one honey processor which started production. And in Bure Integrated Agro-Industry Park, which is found in Amara region, there is a couple of investors engaged in EW production through soybean processing. So this integrated agro-industry park are looking for investors. They have more than 200 hectare land in their premises. It's ready for investors to come in and start their production. The parks are facilitated with basic infrastructure like water, electricity, telecommunication, and service of government offices are located in the integrated agro-industry park. So investors are their life will be very easy, you know, to come and build their own shed or rent the shed built by the parks, which is with a very minimum annual rent fee. So when we see, you know, specific value chains, I just try to pick a few. But as ETA has developed more than 12 investment cases, you can log into our website and then you can find different investment potentials, and then you can communicate to us to give you much broader view on the investment. So I'll try to just mention a few area of, you know, investment potential. I'll start with edible oil. Ethiopia is known for producing oilseed in Africa, and we export a lot of sesame to major market in Middle East and then Asia. And also there is a very huge production of oilseed like major seed, soybean in the country, but still we import close to 520,000 tons of oil every year. So from last year, the government has strategized to change this scenario. Now the government is inviting and incentivizing investors to engage in the edible oil processing sector, where a few companies now emerged as supplying to the local market, which is also free for investors from Kuwait to come and invest in this area. There is also a potential of processing sesame oil, and be it in tiny form or in hulled sesame to be exported to Middle East and other countries. So there is opportunity in edible oil and then oilseed processing. There is also another opportunity in fruit juices. Ethiopia is one of the 5th largest producer of tropical fruits in Africa. We produce banana, strawberry, grapefruit, pineapple, orange, avocado, and mango. We export these cut fruits to Middle East market, and we export strawberry, banana. When we recently started exporting avocado, there is a very vast opportunity on this area because Ethiopia has no winter, and there is a different biodiverse regions where fruit and vegetables can grow using, you know, irrigation, and we have very vast land to accommodate this one. But still, we import a lot of juices from Middle East countries, and the fruit juice processing sector is very infant in Ethiopia. We import a lot of USD every year. This is open also for investors either to engage us, you know, exporting cut fruits, or engage in processing fruit juice to the local market, where, you know, there is a scarcity of juices and cut fruits, and export to Middle East markets as a cut fruit or processed pastes. Coming to red meat processing, Your Excellency were citing this as a very big opportunity for Kuwaiti investors to come and invest. Ethiopia is the 6th largest country in livestock population and the 2nd largest in Africa. We have more than 60 million cattle, 31 million sheep, and 32 million goats, and also plus million camels. But our meat processing industry is not, you know, is not that much big. We still export more than $100 million value of meat to Middle East countries. Especially this export is goat and sheep meat, but the acceptance in Middle East countries, especially for goat and sheep, is considerable. There is a very big acceptance and knowledge about Ethiopian meat. So in this area, the Kuwaiti investors can invest. And recently, we are supporting one Kuwaiti investor coming to Ethiopia to invest in this area. Since Ethiopia has a diverse agroecological regions, with a very vast land, water resource, and infrastructure are very cheap in Ethiopia. So investors can produce their own feed. Feed contributes around 40 to 70% of the livestock raising with the existing water and land. Investors can engage in feed production there for their own industry, and also engage in fattening and processing red meat. On top of that, we have a very successful Ethiopian airline cargo, which serves, to Middle East countries, and this facility can allow investors to take fresh red meat to Middle East countries, and investors can utilize this very big opportunity. Also, Ethiopia has given a very high priority for the poultry sector. Ethiopia has more than 50 million poultry population, but only 2% of this is being produced commercially. Since the malnutrition problem exists in the Ethiopia children, the government wants to gap this malnutrition using animal protein. Specifically chicken meat and eggs are the one priority by the government. So investors are encouraged to come in and also invest in poultry production for the local market, because now through urbanization and economic development, people are more demanding poultry products. And also there is a very big opportunity in dairy sector. Ethiopia has almost more than 40 million dairy cows, but with current urbanization and economic development, most of the urban people are facing a challenge in supplying and obtaining milk. So Ethiopia imports a lot of UHT milk from abroad. This is very pity, because we have 40 million dairy cows who could not supply to the local demand. Investors can come and use this opportunity to engage in the dairy processing and supply to the local market. And also there is a very vast market opportunity in the Komesa area, neighboring countries, and Middle East market. So when I come to the auxiliary industries, the food and beverage sector cannot grow unless it's supported by the auxiliary industries, such as animal feed production, for instance, where poultry, cattle, and dairy sector is booming in Ethiopia. Investors are engaging more to utilize, the supply gap being created in the country. So there is a animal feed shortage in the market, but still we have, very large unutilized land and huge water resource. I think animal feed can be also exported to Middle East countries. Since there is abundant land in Ethiopia, investors can come and engage in animal feed production, supplying to the local market and to Middle East countries. And also there is a very vast opportunity in transportation service, especially in cold chain system, since the fruit and vegetable dairy sector is improving year after year. The cold chain service is being demanded a lot, but the investment law used to permit foreign investors to engage in this area. But since 1 year, the new investment law has granted, foreign investors to come in and engage in cold chain investment using joint venture. So this is open for investors to engage, because the already developed integrated agro-industry parks have rural transport center in the nearby areas. So this linkage requires cold chain services, in addition to the other industries, other investors exporting different fresh products to the world. So this area is open for investment as well. The other area is what the market is lacking is packaging products to the food and beverage sector. Normally with the foreign currency shortage, the printing industry, supply of packaging material is very limited to the sector. Sometimes the food grade packaging is scarce in the country, so investors can come and invest because most of this product is imported, and we import from Middle East countries. We know the industry has very much developed in the Middle East country, as I presume the same is in Kuwait. So investors can come and invest in the packaging industry and supply to the food and beverage industry, where it is very lucrative, and the market shortage is very intense. Generally, Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency supporting investors in agriculture and agro-processing sector. We give hand-holding service to investors coming to Ethiopia. We have a very good track record in this area. We have sourced the multiple processing companies, Souffle and Bushmart, and link them with smaller farmers, which they are now engaged with more than 55,000 smaller farmers. So if you have an interest to invest in Ethiopia, you can contact us through our email, or you can look at our website. So we can give you a service from the start to the operationalization, and then later, when you need, a linkage between the smaller farmers, we can give you that service. I will be very happy to answer any question, but still, you can visit our website and then download the 12 investment cases which ATA has developed, and then contact us for further information. Thank you very much. Over to you, Marta.
Thank you, Mr. Henok. I'll give the floor to the chamber to introduce the next speaker. In the meantime, I would like to share some concern. I think the screen sharing tab is now working, and the presentation are not being shared. So for the next presentation, which is done by Mr. Tariku, I think the screen sharing tab should be working. Thank you.
So, well, thank you very much. I think now to Mr. Tariku Getachua. So, most welcome. Thank you. Can you mute the microphone, please?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see the presentation.
Okay. My name is Tariku. I'm representing Ethiopian Investment Commission. My today's presentation.
One moment, there is a background sound from someone else, looks like. Can otherwise, if everybody's there, can mute their microphone so we can listen clearly to the gentleman. Thank you.
The background is because of the construction. We are under renovation. They are working right now, and I'm very sorry for that.
That's okay. I can share with you also my house background nowadays, so no problem.
Okay, so to start with my presentation, Ethiopia's new horizon of hope. As you can see, My today's presentation revolves around three topics, which is the general overview of the Ethiopian economy and the market. And second goes to the enabling factors, like why you invest in agro-business in Ethiopia. And the third point revolves around the general supports and incentives package that the government provides to investors. So to begin with, let me start with the general overview. The president of Ethiopia is Sahle-Work Zawde, and the prime minister is, as you know, Dr. Abiy Ahmed. And the federal government structure contains nine regions, and we have 2 chartered cities. We have more than 100 million population. The annual growth rate is 2.5%, and the life expectancy is now 35 years old. 35 years. And here, as you can see, Ethiopia is opening up. There has been much reforms going on in the country, considering the microeconomic reforms, for instance, and we have also trade and regional integration reforms, and the investment regulation reforms are undertaking. And these show that the government of Ethiopia is highly interested to really bring ease of doing businesses and to really support investment in this regard. And as you can see, we have strategic investment sectors. We have priority areas like pharmaceutical sector and tourism, energy, textile, apparel, floriculture, laser, and our today's focus is particularly on agro-processing sector. So I will go into the agro-processing sector. Much has been said by Henok, but I will focus on the key important points. Firstly, Ethiopia has set a clear vision for industrialization, which really builds from its rapid economic growth. I'm always really passionate about talking about the Ethiopian economic growth. Over the past 10 years, Ethiopia has been growing by 9.8 on average. This is very, very tremendous growth, which really supports investments. And if there is, as you know, if there is no economic growth, there will not be really an investment and trade. And Ethiopia is also one of the top destinations for foreign direct investment, standing fifth in Africa. And we also have easily trainable and productive labor force. More than 60% of its population is in the young ages, which is the median age is only 20 years. And Ethiopia is also a member of preferential trade agreements and bilateral investment treaties. We have COMESA agreements, we have everything but arms agreements, we have AGOA opportunities. And particularly speaking on the agriculture sector accounts more than 40% of Ethiopia's GDP. It contributes to about 40%, and more than 76% of its export earnings, and more than 66% of its job creation. As you can see here on the slide, Ethiopia is also a continental and global leader in the production of raw materials for agro-processing industry. We are fifth largest producer of tropical fruits in Africa, third biggest producer of wheat in Africa, first largest producer of livestock population in Africa, sixth producer of coffee, largest exporter of flowers next to Kenya, and ninth in chicken production. So the takeaway from this slide particularly is, while the market of the finished product is growing, the value-added production of supply is small. So we have the raw materials here, as you can see, we have the potential, but we still need investors to come in and add a value on these raw materials and export to, for instance, to Kuwait and to other African countries. And you are also encouraged to do the real agriculture as well. And Ethiopia is also working on mega infrastructures, which really supports the investments. And as you can see, electricity is the very cheapest in the country. This massive structure in renewable energies going on in the country. We also have electric railway connecting the city of Addis Ababa to Djibouti. The Ethiopian Airlines is one of the leading airlines in Africa. These are all the opportunities that we have in the country, and the industrial parks are under construction. Particularly speaking on the agro-industrial parks, we have 400 agro-industrial parks already on the verge of being operational. We also have 13 agro-processing industrial parks that are planned to be constructed. They are located in different regions, like in Amara region, in Oromia region, and in Tigray region. And the good news about these industrial parks are they really take the holistic approach in the case of import supply and on-farm production, and as well as there is linkage focus area for implementation. The contract farming agreements will improve the agriculture development in Ethiopia, which really benefits for both the farmers and the buyers. So the connection has been already made with farmers. So investors are only encouraged to come in and bring their machines, install their machines inside the industrial parks and start operation. These are the major key important investment sectors in the agricultural sector. As you can see, oilseeds is one of the sectors that is looking for investment. And the long-term plan is to really encourage exports in the oilseeds. And we also have opportunities in dairy sector, which is there is 2.5 million hectares of land suitable for dairy production. Ethiopia has also attractive market for feed production, for instance. The poultry sector is one of the key important areas, and there is lack of day-old chicken in Ethiopia, for instance, and investors are encouraged to come in and invest in the poultry investments. Apart from these, there are also other businesses which foreign investors can involve, such as the production of wheat, for instance, floriculture, vegetables, honey processing, and many other investment opportunities we have in the country. And I'm not going to go into the details because Mr. Henok has said much on this, and I will pass on why you invest in the country. I have 4 main reasons why you can invest in the country. For instance, we have access to 33 billion domestic markets in Africa, for instance, in Ethiopia particularly, and the African market reached already 3.13 billion markets. So there is huge market. This is the first reason, and increasing productivity in the sector. And the second reason is we have competitive and skill level. More than 300,000 universities graduate every year. And we also have strong government support, competitive tax benefits, for instance, and enabling policies and government reforms we have. So the fourth reason why you invest in the country is we have abundant natural resources and infrastructure. So I would say these are the key reasons why you invest in the country. So you need to consider these key reasons why you invest in the country. And the other issue is concerning with incentives that is going to be provided by Ethiopian Investment Commission. The Investment Commission is mandated to attract and support investment, and Ethiopian Investment is chaired by Prime Minister himself. So we also provide physical incentives for investors, for instance, exemption from income tax ranging from 3 years to 9 years, depending on the type of investment. We exempt duty-free and tax imports on machines, equipment, construction materials, spare parts. And the other incentive is like loss carry forward, for instance. You have full export duty exemption. And considering the non-physical incentives, the guarantee on repatriation of funds, the capital you invest in, the profit you make in the country, you can easily repatriate to foreign countries. So you have the guarantee to take back the profit you make in the country. And all necessary licenses to get the investments is issued by Investment Commission. The Investment Commission provides a wide range of supports in this regard, and the land facilities and basic utilities like electricity, water, everything is handled by EIC. And we also have other incentives which are, we can speed up the visa processing, like work permits, certificate for residency. We provide for investors multiple entry visas, and for shareholders, we have one-stop shop services in Ethiopia, so in EIC, so we can facilitate everything from our side. And at the end, I would say you are not alone to really invest in Ethiopia. We have prominent companies already exist in the country, like Unilever are operating in the country. Holland Dairy is working in the country. So world-class investors are already basing their plants in Ethiopia. So you can share really the real advantage of Ethiopia from these companies also. So this is my today's presentation. If you really have specific inquiries, you can, I think, raise on question and answer section. You can also meet me through my email. So this is the brief introduction about investment opportunities in Ethiopia.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Honek. It is a great presentation, and it seems, if I have few questions actually. One of the remarks, first of all, I would like to have a soft copy of your presentation, and of course, if there is, Mr. Honok's presentation and Turkey presentation, both to be sent to the chamber as a soft copies. A question to Mr. Terekwa is, I was surprised that the cost of electricity is 28 cents per kilowatt. Is this subsidized, or this is the regular rate?
As you can see, it is one of the top reasons why you invest in the country, because it is, compared to Kenya, even it is closely three times cheaper. So this is one of the advantages in the country we have.
Interesting. And of course, I did not hear the cost of the water per gallon over there. Interesting to know.
I can also share you the price of water later to your email, or I can send it to the Chamber of Commerce or Ms. Marta.
Just a small also information. Almost 5-6 years ago, I was in your region visiting Egypt and Sudan. At that time, I remember I was surprised with the capabilities, of course, of the agriculture business over there, and the land capacity available for the agriculture business. But I remember saying this statement, which I agree that it will apply in Ethiopia also, which especially during the COVID-19 situation, I think now it will make it more necessary, where I think Africa is the strategic source of agriculture lands to the area and the Middle East, of course. So I agree with you. It has a potential opportunity for investment. Two, also my concern, of course, I saw that mostly you have an airlines available for shipment, but usually is there a way that you increase your shipment through sea? So how do you do it?
Yes. As an alternative, you can use airlines, because it is, as you know, it is fast. It only takes even to meet half of the world population within 8 hours flight from Addis. It only takes 8 hours to really meet half of the world population, as you can see. As an opportunity, you can use airlines as a number one priority, but you can also use other alternatives, which is shipment, for instance.
Yeah, because shipment.
We currently we are encouraging PPE, public-private investment on this regard. So many companies are interested to join the logistic industry to really ease the bottlenecks on the side of logistics sector. So things will be really changing in the future because the logistics sector should be improved to really facilitate the real investments going on in the country, as well as to really encourage export performance. You can also use from railway. We have railway already connecting Addis Ababa to Djibouti port. So you can also use as an alternative railway opportunity.
Okay. Of course, looking at the imports from Ethiopia, still humble trade balance between Kuwait and Ethiopia. I think there's lots to be made to increase the amount of trade, and opportunity is there, but it needs more homework from both sides. Also, I realized from my previous readings, of course, Ethiopia being a country of agriculture commodity, the commodity prices around the world, especially with last year till today, is up in double digits numbers. So this is in favor of your market, and it gives a message for the world that there is a huge demand for food items and of course agriculture items. So this is in your favor, and this is why Kuwait should look carefully in increasing their imports and their relationship with Ethiopia on this issue.
Yes, we highly encourage you even to set up a factory in Ethiopia, like to add a value on existing raw materials. Not only importing the raw items like coffee or sesame seeds, we need you also to come and set up a factory to really add a value and process and take it to other countries, for instance, to your country. In terms of investments, I really highly encourage to really get into pure agriculture or to add a value on existing inputs.
If I may, also, I have a question. Which is the biggest importer in the GCC countries? And this question is open for the speakers today, compared with Kuwait, in the region, in the GCC region.
Marta, hello Marta. እድሉ ለሌሎች መስጠት ትችላለሽ።
Thank you, Excellency. I would like to forward this question to the President of Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I'll give the floor to His Excellency. Thank you.
It seems. Okay. Sorry. Okay. The construction sound is still there, so if you can mute your microphone.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My question, maybe there's no answer for it yet. Which is the highest trade balance with the GCC countries Ethiopia has. I mean, Kuwait today imports around $5 million, which is a humble rate, as I said. But I've heard somewhere in the presentation $100 million total to the GCC countries. But I mean, which is the highest among those countries?
Your Excellency, maybe I could interfere in here. With regards to exporting different Ethiopian products to all over the world, Ethiopia focuses on the Middle East and the Middle East countries because, as you have noticed, Ethiopia has the best access to the Middle East, Europe, or Asia. So our position, our strategical geopolitical position puts us in the best place to export to a lot of GCC countries. In that manner, we export meat, flour, coffee in large amounts, especially to the Saudi market. We will forward the figures to the Chamber of Commerce as soon as we collect it from the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. But the most important point is the Middle East countries are our targets if you consider the cultural relations, the geopolitical or the geographical proximity that we see in the present time. So I think that is our relationship or the trade balance we have with the Middle Eastern countries. Thank you.
May I also add a point here? Yeah, if I am allowed, still Saudi is our biggest importer, but majority of our import and exports goes to UAE, where UAE is used as a springboard to distribute to other Gulf countries, and also source import products from Asia and also Middle East countries to be exported to Ethiopia. So those two countries, Saudi Arabia and UAE, are the major importer and exporter to Ethiopia and from Ethiopia.
And also, I'll make sure that from our side, we'll send the presentation to 2 or 3 companies in Kuwait. One of them is a major, it's a government entity also, partially, which they import wheat and many items in bulk shipment. So maybe this is an opportunity to introduce your products to them. It may be a competitive option to them.
Hello. Good morning. May I come in?
Good morning. If I may introduce the Secretary General, Mr. Yusuf from ECCSA, would like to say a couple of words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Malta. Thank you all the presenters who have given us a very good presentation, and also thank you for the Kuwaiti Chamber for co-hosting this session with our embassy in Kuwait. Just to say some words, the role of the Ethiopian Chamber was mentioned by our president, so I don't like to mention it, but I think I would like to say some points regarding how to strengthen our relationship. One, as we are an association where we promotes trade and investment, I think we can first have a kind of we can sign an MOU with your good chamber so that we can boost our relationship. So in order to exchange information and also to cooperate in promoting investment and trade from both countries. I think having an agreement or an MOU with your chamber is very important. So we can do this as an initial point. Then next we can exchange visitors. We can come to your country, or you can come to Ethiopia, so that we can more discuss on what to do. So this can be the next step. Regarding the investment opportunities in the agricultural sector, it was highly mentioned by both presenters, by Henok and Tariku. But what I would like to add on this is, on top of investing in the agricultural sector, in the industrial parks, I think constructing industrial parks is also an opportunity that you can see. So you can have also, you can build an industrial park in one of the regions. Then you can invite Kuwaiti investors to join the industrial park and produce here and export to Kuwait or to other countries. So not only just investing on the already built industrial parks, but also you can have also your own industrial park. So this is also an opportunity that you can see. Another point I would like to add is, I think you mentioned, which is the biggest port we are using. Obviously, the port of Djibouti is the leading port that we are using currently, because Ethiopia is a landlocked country. So we are importing most of our products, and we are exporting most of our products to the port of Djibouti. But we have also other alternatives. We can use the Eritrean port, because currently we have a good relationship with the Eritrean government. Well, we can use port of Mombasa, Port Sudan, and so on. So these are the opportunities. Another thing I would like to add is, recently, before 2 or 3 weeks, there was a bigger summit here in Ethiopia on transport summit, transport investment summit. So the transport sectors to foreign investors. It could be either in JV form, or it could be with the government in the form of PPP, that is the public-private partnership, or it could be fully 100% foreign investment. So anyway, the details can be sent to you. We can send you, which to facilitate the logistics, improve the logistics service. Some of the services that were closed to the foreign investors are now opened for foreign investors. So that's also another opportunity where that can be helpful in facilitating exporters to your products. So the points just I would like to add. Lastly, having an MOU with your good office is very important. Maybe we can facilitate it through our embassy. This is a very important point I would like to add. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. I think we had a protocol that's been signed a long time ago. Now, I think the most important is to go forward by having private sector companies attached to your side through the unions. For example, in Kuwait, I'll make sure that the information today we had from your side to be sent to the industrial and the investment union, and also to the companies that are registered under the Chamber of Commerce. Of course, the situation now does not allow an open visit for both countries, but I urge you that we should at least start promoting more the trade as soon as possible. If there is no more, I mean, from our side, we are, I think we're clear. If there is no more questions from your side.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. I would like to invite the Ethiopian Airlines cargo manager to speak about the various export work they've been doing in Kuwait, and we cannot pass without inviting them to speak a little bit about what they have done so far and what they intend to do. So, Mr. Jabbar, please take the floor. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, His Excellencies, all the guests. My name is Abdul Jabbar Mukhtar, GSA, Ethiopian Airline, also one company. I would like to thank all of you for inviting us. We are a proud GSA for Ethiopian Airline in Kuwait, serving for Kuwait and Ethiopia over two decades. During this pandemic, Ethiopian Airline was, I can say, the major airline who was operating between Addis and Kuwait, carrying all type of cargo, especially the perishable, pharma, okay, and same we have export from Kuwait as well for the community. Ethiopian Airline is capable to handle any type of cargo coming to Kuwait or going from Kuwait. We have freighters, so we have regular flights twice in a week at present. And during the 2020, we have first period of 2020, before the pandemic started, we have imported more than 100,000 tons from Addis and a different part of Africa. Then it goes during the pandemic, these numbers are increased to 130,000. And then it goes again for the next quarter, it increase again for 140,000. It's like we are ready, and the last quarter, it was 370,000 tons. Any inquiries, any assistance, if you require from Ethiopian Airline cargo side, we are ready, and we are capable to handle all your inquiries, all your shipments, any type of shipments. Our airlines fully equipped to handle all type of pharmaceutical, especially the COVID-19 vaccine, which we are doing other part of the world, and we are ready to handle for Kuwait as well. If you need any assistance, we are there for you. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I've heard also there's other companies from the Kuwaiti side. If there is any questions from their side. If there is no more questions.
I believe, Your Excellency, there is.
So sorry, there is one Badriya. I think the last name doesn't show clearly. Rashid, maybe.
السلام عليكم.
Salam.
بدرية الراشد, شركة مطاحن الدقيق والمخابز الكويتية. Let me introduce myself in English. This is Badriya Rashid, and I am the Assistant Head of Export in Kuwait Flour Mills and Bakeries Company. As the team from the Chamber of Commerce has mentioned, we are the only importers of wheat inside Kuwait, and we are a fully government company. We actually produce many products, food products, from pasta to oils to animal feeds. And my question was that if I could get a list of names of the main distributors in Ethiopia markets, if we can connect them so that we can create an opportunity of working together in order for us to enter the Ethiopian market.
Well, actually, Badriya is there, and she's the contact person. This is the company that, of course, I wanted to pass the information, but being online, of course, you don't know who's participating. Meanwhile, well, thank you for your speeches today. I hope that the information is available online. There is also another question from Mr. Yusuf.
Yeah, I would like to answer for the question which Ms. Badia has raised. Yes, you can send us a full information about your company, the contact details, and what you are looking for to the chamber, so that we can disseminate the information to our members, so that they can contact the company. So just send you the details information to our email. I have already shared my email. Then we can look for your for distributors in Ethiopia that can work with your company.
I'll do that through the management of the Chamber of Commerce, yes. And as I mentioned before, please just send us soft copies of today's presentation and the contact of the team that's been presenting the information today. If there is no further questions.
Not a question, but I'd like to introduce ourselves from Ethiopia. So it's a leather company. Just to start, my name is Husni and this is my colleague Amaraj. Just to touch a little bit on the leather aspects from Ethiopia. You may know we're very known for leather, and we deal with high-end leather. We're export company mostly, but we have a counterpart. The main office is in the UK. So what we do is we export leather, high-end leather. We make leather products such as gloves, leather shoes. Here, you see some of the products here. That's things. Could you see that? Oh yeah. Those are just some of the products that we make. Sandals, gym bags, and ladies' handbags, leather handbags, and of course we also take designs. If there's a design for like school shoes or anything anybody's interested, we have a strong design team in the UK that can design, and we manufacture it here with our leather. We also deal with gloves, industrial gloves, fashion gloves. Huh? Yeah. Oh, here, just to show you some of the. These are some of the gloves.
We export to US and Europe and Asia also. These are some of the awards we recognize from the government offices. Fashion gloves.
More fashion gloves.
And bags.
Leather bags. And yeah, it would be a great opportunity to work with Kuwait. We've never worked with Kuwait. If there are any contacts where we could do business to export some of these products, it would be our pleasure. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, also Kuwait is one. They have one of the companies that's mainly exporter of raw material leather, as you mentioned. We'll make sure that we'll have the contacts passed to them. And also interesting to see your products, frankly, designed by the UK companies. We'll pass that for the retail businesses. If there is any other questions from other parties. Yes.
Thank you, Your Excellency. To cover some of the points that have been mentioned, With regards to the presentation materials that were presented or conducted by the Ethiopian Investment Commission and the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency, the embassy would be more than glad to share the documents with the esteemed Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry. With regards to the Badria and their inquiry with regards to the market opportunities or business opportunities, or if they desire to meet and conduct business with Ethiopian businesses in this area, we will be more than glad to work with the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and Sectoral Association, and they can visit us or anyone who is interested to invest in Ethiopia or to trade with Ethiopian companies. They could visit us at our embassy and would be more than glad to help them. Thank you so much.
Well, I encourage you to create a strong contacts with Badria. I mean, this is the only company in Kuwait that imports most of the products that you mentioned. And of course, if there is no further question, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody on the information they added today. And I hope that we have a interesting and future together. Thank you very much for everybody. Take care. Be safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you all.